Today we're going to be looking at how you can use Create ML, a tool inside Xcode, to really quickly prototype and develop machine learning applications models actually that you can then export and use within your iOS or Swift applications. So Create ML is a tool that Apple's created where you can quickly, with a lot of limitations, but very quickly create machine learning models and train them on a specific data set. So Apple, the developers at Apple, have different templates that you can start with. You've got image classification, video, motion, sound, text, table, and spatial templates. I've only really worked with image templates before. I think maybe video once, but in this video we're going to be proposing a quick scenario, creating a very quick machine learning model, and actually testing that and realizing some of the limitations that exist with data that you can find online, as well as the limitations with inside Create ML as well. So I found this data set here, aircraft runway data set. It contains defected and non-defected or functional runways or tarmacs. And I've had a look through the images here. They're not very good. They're very non-standardized. You've got images of different dimensions. I don't even know if that's just a pothole. And so they're not standard. There was data augmentation as well. That might have been in the undefected, and that was done to try and increase the amount of data that we have. But what that's gonna do is create. I think it means there's a more tendency for the machine learning model to train and overfit data because you're training. It's been a while. I'll look it up. Maybe you can look it up. But data augmentation can be very powerful, but on very small data sets, it can actually cause a lot of bias within that image that's been repeated and changed, and those features that are extracted to be either classified or recognized by the I assume if it's a neural network, it'll use some sort of convolutional neural network algorithm to perform these recognition tasks. Then it may be very good, your model, at very specific images, and then completely rubbish in other new test cases. So we're going to create ourselves, I've opened up Create ML. It's a tool that comes with Xcode. We're going to create ourselves a new image classification. It's a binary classification because we only have two data sets, so binary runway classification. We're going to save it to our desktop. It's really easy to use Create ML. You want to select your training data. I have it stored here. And you want to have, it's got two classes, so those are two subfolders within the folder that I selected. We're going to use validation data test, and we're not going to worry about testing data yet because we're going to manually feed in testing data. You're very limited here with what you can use. You've got an image feature print v1 and image feature print v2. And I think this is feature extractor here. So these are the neural networks, what they will actually look like, and that's what we're feeding them into. We can do 200, not 200, sorry, we'll do 50 iterations, but at some point when we're getting no more improvements with our machine learning model as it's training, it's going to automatically stop. We can add augmentations ourselves. Noise, I don't know if there'll be certain times where these will be useful. Blur might be useful, whether or not you want to crop it, flip it, rotate it. It's up to you, but we already have data augmentations, and we don't want to be training our model on the same data. If we rotate it and we rotate an already rotated image, then we're feeding in the same images into our model, and we don't want that. Once you've done that, it's really easy. Go ahead and click train, and we have 2,844 images it's training on. It's very quick with Apple's neural cores that they have built into their M series of processors, very optimized for some very basic, rapid machine learning prototyping that you can do with Apple Silicon. Once it's finished extracting, we'll be able to test some images. So I've got our 2 Unsplash links up. Here we go. So we've done 20 iterations before the training stopped, even though we set it to 50 iterations. We've trained to 99.3% accuracy, which is already, for me, we didn't have a very big data set to start with. 1,000 or 2,000 images isn't very many, and there's no standardization of those images, so they're very... I'm not feeling very confident with this model, but we're going to progress anyway. So we have some testing data here which we can try. We've got I believe has been a while. We can evaluate the validation data here. So if we click on this here, we get given an F1 score, which is a ratio of some very easily calculatable metrics that I actually don't remember. We've got our precision, recall, and our count as well. And everything seems very, very high, suspiciously high. So I'm unsure actually how this is going to work, but what I've got here, I just looked up runway. We'll just download this one here, and we're also going to download this image here. So we've got a defected and a not defected image. I'm going to drag these both to my desktop, and we're going to open back up, create ML. If we put in, we'll put these in separate folders, so we'll call this, I'll call this testing, and then inside of our testing folder we'll have a defect and a non-defect. I actually don't know what the original one called it. Defect and undefect. Undefected. And I think this one here might be capitalized. So this is our runway that looks good. This is our runway that doesn't look so good. I'm also going off the assumption here that these haven't been used to train, so this is new data that we're passing into the network. And if we test it, we have it gets it right. So it's very well that actually we could have trained this model to that degree of accuracy, but without a larger testing set, which I don't have time for in this video. It's going to be very quick. I'm not 100% sure, but to summarize, you can use Create ML to really quickly and powerfully create machine learning classifiers, object recognitions. There was a whole bunch on sound that I do encourage you to go and explore and actually look at yourself. And you get some really good insights. You can test your own data. So where this would come in useful is maybe if you're a company and you're looking at trying to automate some of your processes, maybe in this case, maybe you want to set up cameras so that you can monitor a runway and actually take photos every 15-20 minutes to see if any damage has occurred in that time. But in in the same problem, you want to look at other methods of execution as well. So you don't want to just look at machine learning. This is really good for training on specific data, in the same way that we had a very specific data set. It was only tarmac or runways, pavements. I think there might have been some pavements in there as well. But you could use other techniques like morphological filters. You could do image processing to actually look at changes against a reference image or a good image if you've got a specific tarmac that you're working with, and you actually don't need to have a machine learning model trained on hundreds or thousands of different tarmacs, runways, but actually you're just focused on your specific one. You have a reference, and you can use image techniques, processing techniques, to look at any sort of differences that may occur, and that could be another way to detect defects. So I hope this video has been somewhat interesting. A quick insight into how you can use Create ML to really quickly create machine learning projects, and you can export these models. I think they're as ML models. I think that's the extension. And you can use these in your applications. So whether or not you want to have an iPhone app, and you can take a photo of something, and if you're unsure, you can use a machine learning model maybe to give you some more insight as to whether or not it thinks there is a defect or not, based on what it's been trained on, based on other images. So if you've enjoyed, please like the video. If you've got any feedback for me, please let me know. I am trying to constantly do better, and make higher quality videos, make them a bit shorter and more entertaining. But it is hard when it's sort of 9:40 p.m. at night and I've left it so late. But I had a meeting that just finished 10 minutes ago, which I didn't realize was today. I thought it was tomorrow. So hence why I'm making this so late. It's unrelated, but hopefully we'll see you next time.